All right. I am going to be sharing some information with you. I got dealt a devastating blow by my physical therapist today. And I'm going to share it with you because this is all part of being a creative, living with disabilities, and trying to navigate the world. So let's get into it. My name is Kristen Iris Johnson. I am a autistic and disabled writer, film producer, and many other things. I have many other labels, but those are the main things that I am pursuing, and pursuing that as a person with disabilities while also fumbling towards building a life of joy and liberation in a chaotic world that is not really built for someone like me. And I'm going to be sharing that journey with you. And so today I am getting real with you about some news that I got today, some insight that I got into basically my condition and what I can do going forward, what I can't do going forward. That is a pretty hard blow for me. I am, one of my many labels is a martial artist. I am a third degree black belt. I'm a Chicago Golden Gloves champion. I have loved martial arts for many years. Since COVID, I have not really been in a gym doing martial arts with other people because I am also immunocompromised. Why? Because I have two autoimmune conditions, ulcerative colitis and ankylosing spondylitis. The second one, ankylosing spondylitis, or AS, is the pertinent disability of this conversation today. Ankylosing spondylitis, if you do not know what it can be a very debilitating condition that affects the spine, larger joints. It can actually affect a lot of different areas of the body, but primarily the spine, the sacrum, and larger joints. Now, what can happen with this condition is essentially my immune system is like, danger, danger, and starts attacking my spine. And what that can do when it goes unchecked is that inflammation from the attack from my immune system causes my spine to grow extra bony growths, which can eventually lead to me being stuck like this, gargoyle, but probably not able to move my neck, stuck with a hunched spine and my spine fused. I am trying to avoid that. I already have some limited mobility. I have pain every single day. I live in chronic pain every single day. I wake up in pain every single day. That is another reason why I have not been training martial arts in a gym. I was gonna go back right before COVID hit, but then COVID hit, and it has been for a long time a real kind of struggle with my body between the pain and trying to still keep movement, because with this condition, movement is really important. Movement, working out, is actually part of my healthcare plan. It is a non-negotiable. I have to be able to do it. A very delicate dance between moving and also sometimes I'm literally limping around, or sometimes my leg doesn't want to hold my weight. I've had times when I could not walk, where I could not lift my arm. I've had times where it did not matter what position I was in. If I was sitting, if I was standing, if I was laying down, I was in immense pain, in like tears, and like just could not get out of it. Also, cannot take any NSAIDs. So any anti-inflammatories, Aleve, Advil, all of those are off the table. Cannot take those to help with this inflammation problem. When I moved from Chicago to Maryland, a little bit after that, I heard about Fight Camp, was really excited about that. And it's a boxing and kickboxing platform. It's an app. They have a heavy bag, which this is. They got gear. Look at that. Really love their platform, their work. It's a really good home boxing program, or kickboxing. They have other things in the app as well that I was really getting into, but I really wanted to be able to keep training even if I couldn't go to a gym, even if I didn't have a new gym because I had moved. And so I got the bag, and I have off and on been using it because, again, there are times when like I'm just in too much pain, and then I'm doing something else instead for my exercise. Now, fast forward, I have recently started physical therapy again. I have done physical therapy several times before. I did physical therapy before I was diagnosed. When that was not making enough of a difference, when I plateaued, they were like, "Is this working for you?" And I'm like, "Not really." They're like, "Great, go back to your doctor and get an MRI." So I went, got the MRI, finally got diagnosed after having, at that point, I think 5 years of pain. 5 years of limping around. Anyways, so I was diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis. What was good was that I had answers. This is my first time going to physical therapy since I've been diagnosed. And I was diagnosed in 2019. It is now the end of 2025. So beginning of 2019, I got the answer. It is now the end of 2025. It's a long period of time. So first time I'm going to a physical therapist. What has come out of going to physical therapy, which I'm still in the beginnings of, is that I need to limit my rotational movement, this movement. I can do it, but I have to be careful about how much I'm doing it, under load, under force, and staying within a certain range. One of the really, really important parts of actually being a good boxer and kickboxer is being able to rotate, is being able to pivot, is being able to whip into those kicks, being able to really turn into those punches. And that's going to be hard to do if I cannot rotate. Now, I already kind of knew that I'd probably be limited when it came to impact, but I have still had 4 years in my head. I'd love to get back to a gym. I want to get back to training with other people. I want to get back to sparring. And what I learned today is that boxing and kickboxing, not that I can't do it, but that doing that activity can accelerate my disease, which means more pain. It means more spinal fusion. It means less stability in the spine, less stability in the bones. So essentially, not only is my dream of getting back to a gym where I will be able to punch and kick other people, but I actually need to stop punching and kicking this bag. I can shadow box, which means punching and kicking in the air, and that is just about it. That is not something that I expected to learn or to hear. I mean, technically I could do it, but I'm going to make my condition worse. Like over time, I'm just going to keep making my condition worse. And when I'm already waking up every day in pain, sometimes waking up in the night in pain, sometimes can't walk very well. Like all for the last week, I've been limping around. I'm not willing to keep doing something that's going to make it worse. And as someone who loves martial arts, who loves boxing, who loves kickboxing, and who wanted to get back to being able to do it, that is a really hard blow to take. That's really tough news to get, that this is out for the rest of my life. I'm always glad when I get answers about something that's going to help me, but this is a big loss because martial arts has been a really important part of me as a person. It's been an important part of my journey, my growth, my health, and it's something that I've already been missing. I've already had this ache because I haven't been able to train in the way that I want to, or train with other people in the way that I want to. I haven't been able to progress. I haven't been able to even get to a skill level that I used to be, or an ability that I used to be. And I still had in my mind this idea that I could. And now I know that I cannot. Now I have like confirmation, no, you're not going to be able to do that. But all of this is part of this journey of really, really learning to navigate these disabilities. Like I said, I was diagnosed with this in 2019. I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis in, I don't remember, 2017. Yes. But for both of these conditions, I've had symptoms for years before that. I actually think my symptoms for AS started when I was 14 as a gymnast. 12, 13, 14, because I had back pain back then. But when it started getting really bad and I was like, what's going on? What's wrong? What's wrong? That was like really 2014. So I have been living in pain for a really long time. Here's one of the things that sucks about this condition. A lot of people, especially women, get diagnosed really late. Like it's like a decade of pain before they get diagnosed. And there's no cure. There's no way to undo damage that has been done. You can try and slow it down, but navigating right now where I am re-examining everything in my life and looking at all the ways that I have had to navigate these disabilities, but also try and act like I'm not a disabled person, where I'm overworking, I'm stressing myself. Stress makes the condition worse, both conditions. I'm overstressing myself, I'm pushing myself too hard. I am not operating as a person who is living with these disabilities, and I'm not operating in a way that is actually going to help me get better. And that is something that at this time, I am really looking at how do I change that? And I'm re-examining all these different areas of my life, from my career, my film TV career, from my business, because I have a business. I am re-looking at it from the standpoint of my fitness. As much as I am a person who is ambitious and wants to push myself, I want to push myself in working out. I want to push myself in my career. I want to push myself in my business. I want to push myself in all these different ways. I am learning that I really need to pull it back, and I need to set my life up and my world up as much as I can, because there is also a financial component to living with disabilities and really being limited in certain things that I can do. But I want to set up my life as much as I can to support me to be able to be thriving. I want to set up my life as much as I can to thrive as a person who has to live with these disabilities, not ignore them, not pretend that I can operate like everybody else, but to actually live in a way where I am supported and cared for through these disabilities, and then building from there. Instead of like push, 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 which I've always done and I've had to do because I've had to survive. That is a conditioning of having to be productive, having to show your value, have to give more, to the point where I've been exploited. And then couple that with like having to do more to survive, have to do more because I'm getting paid pennies or barely getting paid at all. There's an element of push, push, push. And now I'm sitting with, okay, but that is actually detrimental to my health. And that means it's going to be detrimental to my life, and it's going to be detrimental to my creativity. And to pursue a life of joy and liberation and thriving, which is what I would love to have as an autistic disabled person who is a creative mind and stories to tell, I have to pull it back. And how do I prioritize my health and what I need to thrive with these disabilities, and then build from there? There's an element of also decolonizing that conditioning around productivity and work hard and like put in all this extra stuff, even though it's, oftentimes not recognized, especially as like a Black woman, a decolonizing of that being the way that I have to operate, and really learning to operate in a way that actually serves me, serves my health, and the life that I'm actually creating. So that's a lot of what I'm navigating, a lot of the stuff that I want to be sharing with you guys and bringing to this channel is like, how do you, as a creative in a tough industry, in a challenging world, a challenging society, a challenging administration, how do you navigate the changes that you have to make, the harms that may be coming in society, the grief of the things that you are losing or the things you used to be able to do, and still be able to move forward where I can and move forward in a life that I'm trying to build that feels good. Move forward in a career where I get to share stories and make an impact with my work, and not let disability stop me, but let the care that I need as a person with disabilities be that foundation and that guide. Because if I can operate from being supported and cared for and managing the mental and physical disabilities of my AS, my UC, and my autism, that is going to put me in a better place instead of trying to shove me into these different avenues in the way that other people have done it that may not actually work for me. So there's going to be a finding new ways to navigate, a finding new pathways that I may not have seen from other people before. I think it's going to be a challenging journey. It's going to be an interesting journey, but it's a journey that I want to share because I know that I'm not the only one. I know that I'm not the only one out there who is creative in a challenging industry, who has dreams and is also trying to pursue all of that and believe in a life of joy and liberation and thriving, while also navigating, neurodivergence or physical disabilities. That's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys. And this is the beginning of that. This is the reality of the hand I was dealt. It's not a great hand. It's not the worst hand, but it's the hand that I have. And it's what I have to play with. So I'm going to play, and I'm going to share it with you guys along the way.